Hello, everybody. My name is Roy Nemer of Mundo Albiceleste.com. What a win. What a massive win. Kicked off 2022 the right way, the only way, the Argentina way, the Scaloneta way. Argentina with a 2-1 win versus Chile. Angel Di Maria, Lautaro Martinez, the goal scorers. My name is Roy Nemer. A lot of people in the chat. I'm excited. Hopefully, everybody's excited. Let's get to it. What a win. What a win. And 28 matches undefeated. 28 matches undefeated. No Lionel Messi, no Lionel Scaloni, no Pablo Aymar, no Guido Rodriguez, no Christian Romero, no Joaquin Correa, no Alexis McAllister, no Emiliano Buendia, no problem. Argentina, it's a Scaloneta. It's a Scaloneta, and what a win. What a win. Hello, everybody. Good to be here. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Taking a look. I mean, there you go. Hey, Shovan Anwar. Good to see you as well. Good to see you as well. Jacko Taco. Yes, I am flying solo. I am flying solo. Seba's with the family. He's traveling all around Argentina. He does say hi to everybody. And hopefully, he'll be back here for the Colombia match on February 1st. In just a couple of days, we have another match. We could make it 29 matches undefeated, but hey, we got a lot of ups, a lot of positive things to talk about, and we're going to discuss the match versus Colombia in just a little bit as well. Yeah, DePaul's going to miss. So DePaul's one of the players that got yellow carded. He's going to miss the match versus Colombia. George, Argentina's Argentina, right? There you go. Hey, Mixed Memorabilia. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Tom, what's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well. And yeah, I mean, the Scaloneta show continues. It rolls on to the next town, and this time it's going back to Argentina to host Colombia in just a couple of days. And wow, another important win. There you go. Yeah, another important win. Hello from Malaysia, John. Hope you're doing well. Long time. Happy New Year, buddy. Ritwik from India. Let me know where everybody's from. I'm based in Canada at the moment. Let me know where you're from. We got someone from Malaysia. We got someone from India. There was another one as well. Yeah, I mean, Brazil versus Ecuador. We could get into that in just a little bit, but let me know where everybody's from. Bangladesh, another one. There you go. So all over the world, it's become a responsibility and an obligation to win. The Copa America champions, they got to win. They have to win, right? All right, so based in New York, Chinese born. Wow, there you go. There you go. That's cool. That's pretty dope. George, NYC, buddy. Hope it's safe over there. I haven't checked the weather. We are getting some snow here in Montreal. I'm based in Canada. We got Jaco Taco, Orange County, Southern California. Hope you're well. CT, I want to say that's Connecticut. If my United States geography doesn't completely fail me. India, man says it's the Samueleta, not the Scaloneta. There you go. Nigeria, Paro Miguel, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Nepal. Hey, it's time for an asado. An asado is always a good time. All the way from Miami, Florida. There you go. Hamilton, Canada for John, Jenny, Janardin. There you go. Eastern Canada right there, Hamilton. And yeah, so it's the Scaloneta way. Scaloneta worldwide, Mundo Albiceleste worldwide, Argentina fans worldwide. What a match. You know, this was the deck was stacked against Argentina tonight. Now, you know, obviously we're celebrating, but if you really think about it, missing Lionel Messi, missing Christian Romero, the two big players for Argentina, obviously the captain and Romero emerging as an integral piece of that back line, along with Nicolas Otamendi. So two big players missing, Scaloni missing, Aymar missing, and Walter Samuel was the coach for tonight alongside Roberto Ayala. And, you know, you look at some of the other names that were missing, Emiliano Buendia, Alexis McAllister. These are players that potentially could have gotten, you know, a couple of minutes tonight or even a couple of minutes versus Colombia. Although who knows with the Buendia, he might still get the opportunity because, you know, he hasn't tested positive, you know, thank God, and hopefully he doesn't. So he might still get the opportunity in a couple of days. And let's take a look a little bit at some of the comments in the chat. Enough about me rambling on. Let's read your comments here. Let's get to it. John writes, Lots of positives to take from this game. What matters is this group can hold their own even without Messi. And that says a lot about the Scaloneta revolution. And that's a big, big deal because not only did they hold their own, they pushed it. I mean, 2 goals away versus Chile, a Chile who needs points, absolutely needs points, playing at altitude. They got the job done. They got the job done. 2 goals, 2 very different goals, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, positive, some good stuff from Argentina. Mixed memorabilia writes a very good win, but I have concerns in the lack of creativity in the midfield and forwards. I tend to agree. I'm not going to disagree in that sense, especially, we've spoken about this in the past. When Lautaro's not there, sometimes the goals do tend to dry up. Lautaro was there today and got a goal. But, at the same time, I feel like we have to cut these players some slack. Rodrigo De Paul just came out after the match and said, essentially, the hotel room, they had nothing. It was 32 degrees in the hotel room. There was no air conditioning. This morning, there was no water. So, everything was against them. Obviously, those little antics by Chile tried to get to them. So these players are tired, made the trip over from Europe. Although I do understand what you mean. And this is why I kind of wanted to see Emiliano Buendia and Alexis McAllister with the team. They did get selected, but COVID didn't really help. It did not really help them. West Ham clips. This team looks very good for tournament football. Look, they got the experience, right? Winning the Copa America. That's a tournament. It's a big tournament. Got the monkey off their back. 28 wins. Sorry, after 28 years, and they got the win. So the experience is there. I don't want to say anything that I maybe shouldn't say because there is a pretty big tournament. Probably, well, not probably the biggest tournament coming up in about 10 months' time, 11 months' time. So I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. Let's see. Ruizu writes, it's hard to beat this Argentina team. They got confidence, organization, talent, and some swagger. I saw some swagger a little bit today. I saw some of it today, and it's been growing. It's been growing. Mickey D's. Considering it was at altitude away, it was a decent win. However, I think we need to be more dominant to challenge favorites at the World Cup. I agree, but all things considered, COVID, missing players, fatigue, the traveling, no water, no air conditioning, stuff like that. That's got to play a factor. That's got to be taken into consideration. So I am cutting them some slack, and it's not like Argentina played badly tonight. I thought they played pretty good. They played pretty good. Pablo Miguel, Fide was incapable of scoring normal or easy goals. Di Maria's last 4 goals for Argentina have been against France at the World Cup, outside of the penalty area, versus Brazil, Copa America, right? We're never, ever going to forget that. Versus Uruguay, the curler, just about 2 months ago in Uruguay. And now once more, a curler, this time versus Chile, 3 players in front of him. Not a problem. Not a problem if your name is Angel Di Maria. And he's scoring some massive, massive goals. Taking the words right here, massive win in altitude. It would be better if Dybala got some minutes. I think Dybala was saved a little bit. I think he's gonna certainly play versus Colombia, especially considering all of the suspensions and obviously Messi not being there either. And I think Dybala definitely gets some minutes and possibly even starts as well. Alan Grinberg, typical match versus Chile. Glad we almost ended the World Cup hopes after 2015, 2016. Dude, I really, I don't want Chile to qualify for the World Cup. Apologies if there are any Chilean fans watching us or listening to us. Nothing personal. It's a little bit of 2015, a little bit of 2016 in there. Not a fan. Sorry, don't want them to qualify. But we'll take a look at the table as well and see how everything stands. Raf writes, our mojo is still with us. We played cool and collected for the most part. The confidence of champions. Yeah, Argentina undefeated in 2020, 2021, kicked off 2022 with three points, with a win, with 2 goals. What more can you ask? Jaco Taco, we're gonna get to that in a little bit with the amount of players missing. Who's gonna start in midfield? Dale, campeón, dale. All right. Di Maria, yeah, no tap-ins, says Eman. It is frustrating to a certain degree see Argentina play long balls, but I saw something from Lautaro Martinez tonight, and I'm not talking about just defensively because I thought he was just incredible for Argentina defensively, but he was playing some passes. He was playing some passes from deep and creating some chances. I thought he did very, very well tonight. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about everybody and everything. Much love, buddy. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Shibu. Nicholas had an outstanding game. I'm guessing Nicholas Gonzalez. This was arguably, or probably in my opinion, probably his best Argentina game overall. Took on defenders, defensively tracked back. He plays very, very well. Shibu, I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I don't know. But to be honest, Chile's not used to the altitude either, and they're preparing for their match versus Bolivia at altitude, so they need the points. They need the points. Di Maria is our new Claudio Caniggia, writes Jaco Taco. He's scoring some big goals. He's scoring some big goals. I'm still waiting for. I know he missed the semifinal versus the Netherlands, but if he could pull a Caniggia the way he did in 1990 versus Italy, oh boy. But hey, much love, nothing but love for Di Maria in this chat. People talking about Ecuador almost being there. We're gonna see. We're gonna see the table. Miguel Gonzalez writes, Gonzalez had a great game, very underrated. I thought he played well tonight, definitely. I feel Dibu reacted a second earlier. He could have saved the goal. He needed to move back just one step. I thought Dibu was caught. I thought that caught him by surprise. I didn't think, he would probably head it towards goal. I thought he was probably thought the ball would be crossed towards the center. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about all of that. And let's. This is another one. Yeah, another good showing here. Tagliafico surprised me today. Played well, except for the last 5 minutes. I thought he did well, all things considered. The pressure was on him. Tagliafico's lost his spot in Ajax, wants to go to Barcelona, has not been a starter for Argentina since the Copa America. It's all been Marcos Acuna. This was a big match for him, and I thought he did. I thought he did well. I thought he, if there was a test, so to speak, if there was an exam, he passed it, and I thought he passed it to a certain degree with flying colors. I thought he played a good game. Second goal, credit to Papu Gomez. And you know what? Let's get into it. We're talking about all these players. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the goal. The first goal. Come on. Angel Di Maria gets the ball out wide. You expect him maybe to cut inside, take the shot, or try and play a 1-2 or something. Di Maria cuts inside. 3 players in front of him. Not a problem. 3 Chilean players. Curls it around them. Just curls it around them into the side corner of the net. Claudio Bravo. I know Bravo's up there in age, right? He's not getting any younger. But wow. That he's still a good goalkeeper. And Di Maria got him, and from that distance. And Bravo always steps it up against Argentina. He always steps it up, be it at the Copa Americas or the World Cup qualifiers. He pulls off some incredible saves. Couldn't do it tonight. Di Maria was on a mission, got his goal, gave Argentina the 1-0 lead. His name is, yeah, there you go. Absolutely. And looking at the goal, one way of describing it. That's the only way you're going to describe it, right? Just incredible. First goal was ridiculous. I yelled so loudly that I woke up my cats and wife. It was worth it. I would imagine it is worth it. And Miguel writes, never underestimate the heart of a champion, El Fideo. He's bailed us out a lot of times. Obviously, Copa America, yes, the biggest one of them all. But, versus Switzerland, gave us a lifeline versus France, got us a 3 points versus Uruguay. He's gotten a lot of stick. He's gotten a lot of hate from a lot of people, myself included, throughout the years. He's frustrated me sometimes throughout the years. I'll be the first to admit it. But, man, has he stepped it up. This is the absolute best version of Di Maria we've seen for Argentina, potentially since the Olympics. And that's saying a lot because he's had some incredible matches and incredible moments and goals. But the past year for Argentina, he's been top notch. So credit to him. Yeah, he did. I see. Yes, that was an extra time, and he pulled off. And Bravo in 2015 had a save. I want to say it was versus Otamendi. It was either Otamendi or even Agüero once more. And this was in regular time, the first half, where he saved it. So he's been well against Argentina, but you know what? Not tonight. I'm gonna get to that in just a second, Jaco Taco. I'm gonna get to that in just a second. But let's keep the love coming for Di Maria. Di Maria is built different, 33 years old, and not slowing down at all. He's still really fast and really fit, even after so many injuries. His work ethic, the way he's been able to bounce back from injuries, from heartbreaks. Many other players probably would have given up and retired from the national team, and others have. Not him. Not him. He kept going. He kept going. Yes, George, a true captain today. A true captain. And man, I don't want to think about that, man. I've thought about it too many times and continue to think about it too many times. Don't want to talk about it. Don't want to think about it. Not tonight. Not tonight. CB, Di Maria always plays good on the right and always plays poor on the left. When he's able to cut inside on that right side, he's been getting some goals. He's been getting some goals. DePaul, that's it. That's the comment. Excuse me. He does. We've spoken about Rodrigo De Paul having 3 lungs. Di Maria's another one. Di Maria's another one. This kid just keeps going and going and going and going, and he never gives up. He never gives up for Argentina, and he got the goal. So 1-0 for Argentina, and up to that point, Argentina has been playing well. They've been playing well. Chile got a little bit of the ball. Lisandro Martinez played a lot of balls from deep, a lot of passes from deep, a lot of creativity from deep from the center back. I thought he and Nicolas Tagliafico started off the match very strongly, very, very good showing from both men. And they made a case, right? Lisandro Martinez has made a case as to why he should be, the third choice center back behind Otamendi and Christian Romero. And Nicolas Tagliafico showed that he can still do it. He had a very good showing versus Chile away from home at altitude, a Chilean side that needs the points. And he played. He played. He's looking to get transferred over to Barcelona. Tagliafico showed up tonight. He showed up tonight. Him and Lisandro Martinez, both guys, both from Ajax, they impressed. They impressed. Nothing but love for either guys tonight, for either men. They played really well, and Martinez, man, Lisandro, the guy. Oh my God, any club team that gets him after he moves from Ajax is going to be very lucky, very, very lucky. Just like Christian Romero. I don't want to say generational talent, but him and Romero could certainly be the future and potentially even the present of the Argentina national team. So let me see your love. Let me see what everyone's comments are so far about the match up until that point. I'm just gonna have a sip of water here while everybody shares their thoughts, and I'll share it on screen as well. All right. Hey, CB's talking about work rate. Nicolas Gonzalez, right? So CB writes Nicolas Gonzalez's work rate. Couldn't agree more. I thought he always has the work rate. Just sometimes he's not the best moving forward, but tonight he was truly good. He was truly good. Lisandro Martinez, what a baller, writes Paro Miguel. And all right, let's see. Ashma asks what the Chile player did to Julian Alvarez was so awful. Did you notice that? I must have missed it. Let me know unless someone else saw it as well. So please let me know, guys, about that. Master Azar, Di Maria only scores bangers. Just does, right? It's what he does. It's what he does. It's Di Maria. Senesi's another one, so it feels like we might lose him to Italy, and I would hate that. I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised. We spoke about him last time around, and some people said he hasn't been playing too good for Feyenoord. Although he was in the preliminary list for Argentina, he might still make it. Who knows? Who knows? Mixed memorabilia. Always been a fan of Lisandro, as have I. But he hasn't really gotten that proper showing for Argentina. Never really got that real chance. Tonight he got it, and he ran with it. Lisandro just absolutely ran with it. All right, let's continue. Let's talk about the Chilean goal. Let's talk Nahuel Molina. So Nahuel Molina, not his best match. He's had some very, very good performances for Argentina throughout the World Cup qualifiers. He's essentially been selected over Gonzalo Montiel since the Copa America. So Molina's been Argentina's starting right back for several matches now. He was at fault for the goal to a certain degree. Didn't get back on time. Watched the ball go into the back of the net. But overall, that first half by him. I mean, Lisandro Martinez covered. He covered for him. Lisandro Martinez and Nicolas Otamendi covered for Molina more than once, specifically in the first half. I thought he looked better in the second half, although, that's not saying much. I'm trying not to be harsh on the kid. It's his first, less than stellar match, let's say, for Argentina, but certainly the weakest tonight of the four in the back line. And that's not hate, right? It happens. He had a bad match. He had a bad showing. It happens. And I'm sure he'll do very, very well in the next match. But potentially he was at fault for the first goal. And even Emiliano Martinez, not the best on that goal as well. I think Martinez was expecting the ball to get, kind of crossed back towards the middle as opposed to actually towards him. And I thought he misjudged it and just misread it overall. So Molina, not too good on the goal, and Martinez maybe could have done better. I don't know. Maybe that's me just being a little bit harsh. But still, if you're a Chilean fan, that's a great goal. Very well placed. The ball just kind of floating in the air. Not much you can do sometimes. Sometimes, there's not much you can do. It was a great header. It was a great header. Let's take a look at the comments here. Let's see what everybody thinks. And I mean, Montiel over Molina says epic. Apologize for the pronunciation if I got it wrong there. Bibek asks or mentions Montiel for Molina. Maybe in the next match. We'll see what gives. Right? We'll certainly see what gives. Miguel writes, I would still pick Montiel over Molina. Chilean goal due to lack of height of defenders. That's another thing as well. And George writes, Chile really turned up the pressure on us after their goal. Even the crowd got nuts, but we remained calm, and that was very nice to see. Argentina, you mentioned it. They remained calm. They did well after the goal. They didn't panic, and they kept their composure. There were some instances where Chile really, really pressured, and Argentina was just, no, we're gonna pass the ball around, and we're gonna pass the ball around you, and that's what they did. So credit to Argentina. Chile stepped it up, but Argentina showed up better, right? They were good, and they were even better. So let's take a look more here. So Molina was poor, but I would put the goal on Dibu. His positioning was off. Yeah, it's maybe a bit more Dibu, but hey, we got the goal, and everyone's allowed. Every one of these players is allowed a mistake every now and then, and I'd rather have the mistake come now than later on, right? Well, Montiel did get transferred to Sevilla, and he wasn't always a starter there, and I think at one point he was injured towards the start of the season, so it's understandable why Molina got the start or has been getting the start, but we'll see what gives against Colombia. We'll see what gives. Cesar, I don't blame Molina. That match happens to the best players. It does, right? Everyone has a bad game, and tonight was one of those matches for Molina. Not the end of the world. He did, and specifically in the second half, Christopher, I do agree. There were some instances in the second half where Molina put in that leg, he extended the leg, and at one point even kind of created an attack, a pass that went for Alvarez, if I'm not mistaken, but he wasn't able to get to it. And there was also a clearance that could have been bad for him. For Molina, extended his foot, just got a toe in at the last second, and took the ball away from Chile. So a great block from him as well. And there you go. Emmy misjudged that goal as well. And it happens. It certainly happens. Yes, but we got absolutely. So if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We've got another World Cup qualifying match coming up. Argentina versus Chile, just a couple of days. We're going to be here for that. Hopefully, I'm not going to be alone. Hopefully I have Sebastian Garcia back, and if not, no problem, right? We're all here. We're a family. We love talking about Argentina. So either way, whether I'm alone or not, I'm not truly alone because you're all here. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's continue. Yeah, we do the Jaco Taco. If you really think of it, I mean, Montiel, Molina, they're not really old. Christian Romero, Lisandro Martinez is another one as well. So that's 4 defenders right there, and excluding some that are in Argentina at the moment. So let's Let's continue with that. All right. Um, Now, when Perez has a high ceiling, he needs games, and he's been selected. So Perez of Udinese, he's been selected for the Argentina national team for these matches, and who knows if he gets a run out versus Colombia, if he makes a substitutes bench, we'll see what gives. We'll see what gives. Um, yes, one that we'll certainly talk about as well. Papu Gomez, Alejandro Papu Gomez, a great showing. It took him some time. Took him some time, a little bit. Took him about 10 minutes to get going. But once that first goal went in by Di Maria, Papu played a bit more relaxed, a bit more confident. We saw the dribbling, we saw the touches by him, and we saw his pass and his play on that second goal. Papu Gomez got the ball right for the second goal, dribbles around a couple of Chilean players as he's going down, plays the ball over to Rodrigo De Paul. De Paul, acres of space, runs forward, sees that Claudio Bravo's injured, sees that the backup goalkeeper is warming up, decides, you know what, I'm going to take a shot and we'll see what gives on this one. De Paul takes a shot from distance. Claudio Bravo, I don't know if he tries to catch it or whatever it was, but stopped it. Lautaro Martinez on the rebound, not offside, not even close, scores to re-give Argentina the lead, the 2-1 lead. And Lautaro Martinez, I have the statistic here. I'm just going to bring it up, but he's on, if I'm not mistaken, 18 goals in 36 matches. 18 goals in 36 matches for Lautaro Martinez, and I'm just gonna confirm that. Just want to confirm. I don't want to say anything. Yeah, there you go. So Lautaro Martinez, 18 goals in 36 matches for Argentina, and all of his goals coming obviously under Lionel Scaloni as coach, and he is Argentina's highest goal scorer. Lautaro Martinez is Argentina's highest goal scorer since Lionel Scaloni took over. He has more goals than Messi, more goals than anybody else for Argentina since Scaloni took over. 18 and 36. That's a goal every 2 matches. Not a bad return by any means for a number 9, especially at international level. And let's take a look at the chat. Let's take a look at the chat. What everybody thinks about this one. There you go, Shavan. Second goal, thanks to Papu Gomez. He created it. He created it out wide, got the run, got the dribble, played it to De Paul, and the rest is history. Jaco Taco, yeah, we do. We do tend to score very early. But you know what? If it works, it works. If it continues to work, it continues to work. And we do tend to score mostly in the first half. That's for sure. Most of Argentina's goals are coming in the first half. I don't have the exact number on me at the moment, but that is true. Since Scaloni took over, it's been a machine, first half machine, especially since the Copa America. It's as if almost every single goal that Argentina scores has been in the first half, although not always the case, but it does certainly look like it. Let's continue here. Oof. All right. George, I would absolutely love to see this kid, Julian Alvarez, a rising star from River Plate. He's hot right now and needs exposure to the big shot. Well, it looks like he's going to go to Manchester City. He did get some minutes earlier tonight versus Chile. He played about the last 15 minutes or so. The last 15 minutes against Chile. Got the ball, could have had or was nearly through on goal. I believe it was Correa played a cross in to Julian, but Gary Medel just intercepted it, or else Alvarez would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper. But he needs time. I think Alvarez is the real deal. I have no doubt about it. The talent's there. I just think he needs a bit more time, especially with the national team. I think there should be mixed memorabilia. It's a very good question. And this one, I'm going to kind of tie it in to what Vinit wrote here. We need a backup for Lautaro, and what Abu Qasim wrote. Really wonder what our depth is for the striker position. So especially against Colombia, I mean, if we take a look at the list, and you know what, let's do that. Let's take a look at the players that have been called up for these matches. Where is it? Here we go. So the players available and everything. I'm just going to share my screen, and let's do this. Let's take a look at the players that would be available for Argentina for the next match. There you go. So essentially, if we're taking a look, this is what we have. So you got Nicolas Gonzalez that's available, Lucas Ocampos, Paredes is out, Guido's out, De Paul's out. You got Gio Lo Celso, you got Papu Gomez, McAllister and Buendia are both out. You got Di Maria, you got Correa, you got Alvarez, you got Lautaro. Joaquin Correa is out. You have Dybala and you have Maxime Meza. Of all players, you got Maxime Meza. So that's kind of the depth that we have moving forward, at least for the next match. Um, and a lot of people looking at the chat, a lot of people want Julian Alvarez. Julian would have been better off going to Barcelona. Man is a talent. Paulo Miguel Alvarez is a world beater. Then we got some Dybala love as well. Will Dybala play against Colombia? George writes Dybala should play against Colombia. Suketu regarding Julian. Julian is the future. And Dybala should play the next match. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Scaloni does or, Samuel does for the next match versus Colombia. The players available, the players suspended, because we do have some players that are suspended for Argentina and some big players suspended for Argentina. But before we wrap things up for this match, give me your top 3 players. What are your top 3 players, top 3 performances, including your man of the match for this one right here, for Argentina's 2-1 win? Who is it? I have a couple of names in mind. So my top 3, and let me see your top 3, and we'll share them on screen, and we'll see if we have the same thoughts. My top 3 are Lisandro Martinez, Nicolas Tagliafico. Surprisingly, I might have to go with him, and Di Maria. Some might say Paredes, maybe. Papu Gomez is another one, a good shout from him. De Paul was kind of on and not so on this match, although he was still very solid. He was still very good. So, my top 3, Lisandro Martinez, Nicolas Tagliafico, and Angel Di Maria. Let me see what yours are. Let's see. Let's go. Let's take a look at them right here. Arjit writes number 1, Emi Martinez. Samir writes Di Maria, Papu, and Martinez. I'm guessing you mean Lisandro Martinez because we have about 2 or 3 that are in the team. Chauvin, Papu, Lisandro, Nicolas Otamendi is another one. Raf writes Dibu, Tagliafico, Di Maria. A writes Lisandro, Papu, Di Maria. Miguel writes Di Maria, Lisandro, and Nicolas Gonzalez. That's a good shout right there for Nicolas Gonzalez. Almost forgot about him there as well. I thought he played very, very good. Epic, Papu, Di Maria, Lisandro. John, my top 3 are the top 3. So Martinez, Emiliano Martinez, Lisandro Martinez, and Lautaro Martinez. 3 of them in the starting 11 for Argentina. George, the question, your top 3 of the match, your top 3 performers for Argentina of the match, as well as your man of the match. Paco Miguel, Lisandro Martinez, Di Maria, and Papu. And that seems to be what everyone's kind of going with. Papu, Di Maria, Lisandro. Lisandro Di Maria Gonzalez, Lisandro Martinez, Di Maria, and Otamendi. Our shout for Rodrigo De Paul, Di Maria, and Paredes. Arjit writes, we're just going to bring this up. Arjit writes Emiliano Martinez, Angel Di Maria, and Lisandro Martinez. We got another one for Licha, Di Maria, and Tagliafico. Let's see what else. George, Emiliano, Lautaro, and Papu. Suketu, what about Benedetto? Nah, man. Nah, I'm not. I was never his biggest fan, and I'm a Boca fan. I was never his biggest fan. Not at his age, not, just moving back to Boca and everything. Who knows? There's still about 10 months. But not for me. Samir, thank you, buddy. I'm kind of redecorating, trying to change some stuff up all across the room here. But thank you very much. George, all right, so George changing it up. So Di Maria, Lautaro, and Emiliano. There you go. Miguel, bottom 3. Oof. All right, so Miguel wants to do a bottom 3. Molina, Lo Celso, and De Paul. Wow, De Paul in the bottom 3. Now that's something. That is something. I would not have expected that. Not for De Paul. Lo Celso's been. I don't know how to put this because I like him. I think he's a real talent, but if he's not careful, he's going to lose that starting spot. And he might already have lost that starting spot. he didn't show flashes. He did not play a bad game in my opinion when he got substituted on, but nothing to write home about. Nothing to write home about from him. So Lo Celso is one that has to be careful, right, regarding his starting spot. Yeah, that's the thing, Jack. Like, I wouldn't rate him. I didn't think he played a bad match, but at the same time, he didn't really do much. He had about 10, 15 minutes. We'll see. I think just because of the number of suspensions and injuries that we have, I think Lo Celso starts versus Colombia. I really think he does, and that's going to be his match to show up. He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to. But we'll see what gives. We'll see what gives. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Yes, I love this one. Absolutely love this one. um, let's take a look here. But mixed memorabilia. DePaul is always brilliant. Arjit, yeah, Lo Celso's not going through a good patch right now for Tottenham, but hopefully he could turn it around. Hopefully he could turn it around second half of the season. So let's see. Let's see. All right. All right. So there you go. Sorry, just kind of reading some comments here. So a good match. It was 2-1 for Argentina. Then came the second half, and oh boy. Oh boy, the suspensions in the second half, the yellow cards in the second half. It's this one's gonna hurt versus Colombia. This one's gonna hurt. A lot of injuries. Sorry, a lot of suspensions for Argentina. And thank you, Siobhan. Thank you, buddy. Glad you like the tattoo. But mixed memorabilia writes, would Buendia replace Lo Celso? Maybe it is possible. Buendia could be available versus Colombia. But before we get to Colombia, let's talk about remaining about this match, right? So obviously everyone's talking about the midfielders and everything. So the players that are suspended for Argentina, the players that are suspended for Argentina, it's the following. Sorry, I have it right here. Rodrigo de Paul. So let me just kind of hide this. Sorry. So Rodrigo de Paul is gonna miss the match. Leandro Paredes is gonna miss the match, and Nicolas Tagliafico is gonna miss the match. So De Paul and Paredes, that's two of the three midfielders for Argentina. They're out due to suspension, and Nicolas Tagliafico is another one that is out due to suspension. So three players out. That means Marcos Acuna certainly starts versus Colombia, and that clearly opens the door even more for Papu Gomez and especially Paulo Dybala to get the start versus Colombia. Paulo Miguel mentions here, he says some local lads should be called up. Potentially, you might have to just to kind of fill up the bench, so to speak. But there's still a couple of days. Who knows what could happen with Emiliano Buendia? Hopefully, he doesn't test positive and he's good to go and he gets some minutes. Who knows, right? Who knows about that? Franco mentions Buendia playing great for Aston Villa. George, Dybala deserves one more chance to prove himself with yet another Argentina squad. If he doesn't measure up, he should not go to Qatar. I said this in the last video. I thought Dybala would start this match, and I said it. This is put up or shut up for Dybala, and I stand by it. If Dybala starts versus Colombia or plays versus Colombia, he needs a massive performance. He cannot have just a performance of, Dybala did not play bad. No, Dybala needs to have a performance where you look at Dybala and say, wow, he played good, or wow, he played great. That's the type of performance that we're going to need from Paulo Dybala. I love him, love the talent. I really want him to succeed with Argentina. For whatever reason, it's not working out. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he does. Raf, hey, that's another solution right there. Lisandro Martinez would probably start as a defensive midfielder versus Colombia. He's done it for Ajax. He's done it in the past, and he's even played as a defensive midfielder for Argentina. I believe it was versus Uruguay or Brazil back in November. So it's very possible that we see Lisandro Martinez as the defensive midfielder versus Colombia, and then maybe Nahuan Perez or Lucas Martinez Cuarta or Germán Pasella alongside Nicolas Otamendi in the back line. Could we see that? Could we see that? It's very much a possibility. Very, very much a possibility. Mixed memorabilia. There is a dent and there is some backup. There is some backup. Um, Hopefully, yes, this is another one. So hopefully McAllister tests negative. This is a big challenge for Scaloni. COVID hit and suspensions and everything's all together. Everything's together. Jack Otako, I'm guessing you're talking about Dybala, that he's going to Qatar. I think just based off talent alone, I think you can't not take Dybala to the World Cup just based off talent. The guy's a game changer. You know, he hasn't been playing too good for Argentina, but if it's a World Cup, you bring him on. It's a knockout match, or it's a match where you need a goal, and you bring Dybala on, and he clicks and he plays well, and he's a game changer, and he gets you that win. That's what he could do. That's what Dybala could do. So, yeah, I think he is there for the World Cup, but he needs that confidence. He needs that confidence. Um, there you go. Miguel. Well, Mascherano, the new coach of the Argentina under 20 team, he's going to take over. He officially took over at the start of the year, and he will manage his first game in February. So keep your eyes out for that. Keep your eyes out for that. That is true, Jaco Taco. Dybala did score versus Chile in the third place match at the 2019 Copa America. That he did. Hey, that's very true. That's very true. You can. So the saying essentially, it's you have club players and you have national team players. It is two different things. Essentially, yes, it is two different things. You have some that shine more for their national team than for their clubs, and others are vice versa. Some shine more for their clubs than their national teams. So that is very, very true. Why did Ocampos not make the bench today? That's a very good question. Not sure. So Ocampos, and I have the list here. I will just bring that up in just a second. So the players that did not make the bench for Argentina tonight: Esteban Andrada, the goalkeeper; Germán Pezzella, he's suspended; Maxi Meza and Lucas Ocampos did not make the bench for Argentina. So one suspended in Pezzella, then Andrada, Meza, and Lucas Ocampos. Why Ocampos did not make it? Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe they thought that they wouldn't need him down the stretch during the match, and they decided to bench him. Gaston Avila, yes, Gaston Avila, another one for the future, possibly after the World Cup, possibly after the World Cup. It is a big chance for Buendia and Dybala. It's a very big chance for Buendia and Dybala. And you know what? If Buendia could have a good match, if he plays versus Colombia, if he has a good match, he could really, really make some noise and potentially be in contention for the World Cup, and Dybala as well. And Dybala as well. So there's some players there that could that need a big performance. That need a big performance if they want to have any chance for Qatar. And Buendia is one of them. He's just been unlucky. Never played a match for Argentina. Has been selected several times, and he's been not even on the bench. He has not even been selected for that. Prince Greasy writes, I think Lucas Boye can be a backup for Lautaro. Lucas plays in La Liga. He has, if I'm not mistaken, about 7 goals in La Liga this season, although he's playing well, although he's playing very, very well so far, but maybe not yet for Argentina. Maybe in a year or two, potentially for him, although he is playing well in La Liga. Let's see. Jack Otako, there you go. I guess you agree. Not national team material, at least not yet. At least not yet. Ruizu, Argentina is so filled with modern number 10s: Messi, Dybala, Buendia, Lanzini, and on top of that, you have a huge pool of number 9s: Angel Correa, Joaquin Correa, Julian Alvarez. And they're pretty versatile. Angel Correa could play as a number 9, could still play on the wing. Joaquin Correa, more of a center forward than an actual number 9, but I understand what you mean. Alvarez, another one, pretty versatile, right? Supportive striker, can play on the wings, can play practically anywhere up front. CB, Ocampos does not fit the current team style, but he could be a plan B since he has that physical and strength. Since he has that physicality and strength, sorry. Yes. MN, that's a valid point. That is a very valid point because teams are finding it hard to beat Argentina. It's been over 2 years. It's been 28 matches. I know a lot of people concerned of lack of creativity and goals, but I think Scaloni is trying to make this team hard to beat. It's hard to have both, but surely being hard to beat is the most important. Yeah, it's a good point. I didn't think of that. But Argentina are difficult to beat. Certainly, certainly. Gio Simeone, he's been hot and cold. So that's the thing with Simeone. I would still pick him just to see what he could offer for Argentina. But Simeone goes through this patch where he doesn't score for let's say a month or two, and then scores like 8 goals in in a month, and then disappears for 2 months, and then scores another 8 goals in a month. That's where we're at with Simeone. But I would pick him just to see what he could offer. You never know. Coming off the bench, if you need a goal, he could be it. He could be it. Miguel Di Maria should sit out next game. Don't risk any injuries. Not a chance. Not that I disagree. I'm not saying I disagree, but I do not see them resting Di Maria for the next match. Not with the suspensions and injuries that we have. Not a chance. Not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. That's not to say I disagree or I agree. Or sorry, that's not to say I disagree with you, but I don't think he gets benched. And that's Simeone. There are still 2 more matches in March, World Cup qualifiers. So you have one more list for that and one more for June. Chances are, if you're not picked for the March World Cup qualifiers, you're probably not making it for the World Cup. But hey, still a lot of football left. There's still the start of next season. So who knows? Who knows regarding that? Um, George writes, we have a future. I can see us blowing through these next games, including versus Italy and debut at the World Cup as undefeated champions of America. Hey, that'd be cool. That would be cool. Jaco Taco, let's take a look at this one. Who is one player that has not been called that you would like to see be given a chance? Oof, oof. Putting me on the spot. Putting me on the spot. Let's see. I'll see what everyone else thinks, and I'll try and get some ideas. Um, One player not called up that I would like to see called up. I'm guessing the popular vote will be Senesi, Marco Senesi, but let's see what everyone else thinks. So this is a very good question. Um, George writes Alario, Senesi, and Lanzini should get the call. Um, Paro Miguel. That's the thing about Simeone. He's not consistent, but when he gets going, he is a sharpshooter. He's a sniper. He is a sniper. Um, and there are always a few players picked at the last moment for the World Cup. And there's still the start of next season, right? Still the start of next season. But to go back to the original question, player who has not been called up that I would like to see called up, and then that Messi guy seems good. I mean, he only has that one league goal, right? That's what everyone's talking about. I don't care. I don't care. Obviously, pick him. Walter Benitez. Now there's a shout. Now there's a shout. Walter Benitez, the goalkeeper from Nice in Ligue 1 in France. I would pick him. Doesn't mean I would play him. Emiliano Martinez, Juan Musso for me are ahead of him in the pecking order. You have him as well, Walter Benitez. You also have Ledesma of Cadiz in Spain, another solid goalkeeper. There are some good ones. There are some good ones. Lucas Boye for CB, Girotti, if not Simeone, Paro Miguel, there you go, Walter Benitez, um, Senesi. This is a great problem. It is. Who the F do we pick? They're all good. They are. They're all good. See, Argentina has such depth in the goalkeeping department, some depth, center back department, um, and for whatever reason, it's the strikers, right? We can't seem to find that natural replacement for Lautaro Martinez, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually. Um, there you go. Let's just convert Mbappe. Let's just convert Mbappe. There you go. Rafael writes, I'd call Giovanni Simeone and Marco Senesi. Right, so another one from Verona, one from Feyenoord. Adrian writes Walter over Andrada and Armani. I think Armani is about third choice at the moment. For whatever reason, that's what I think. And Andrada as well is another one. Jaco Taco. So someone mentioned Ascasibar Santiago And Santiago, interesting. He's improved leaps and bounds for Hertha Berlin this season. It's a good call. I haven't watched him this season. I won't lie. I haven't watched him in about a year. I have not watched him in about a year, but I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. If you guys say he's doing well, then he's doing well. CB, yeah, that's the problem. Walter Benitez has a French citizenship apparently and is eligible to play for France. Rossi is better than both Andrada and Armani. Palomino from Atalanta, the center back, is another one. He hasn't been selected. He has not been selected. Jose Luis Palomino as well. It's another one, center back from Atalanta. He's had some good matches. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but not bad squad depth. Not bad squad depth. And continuing with the love for Rossi, Boca has been great. There you go. So Argentina have goalkeepers. Here we go. So lots of talk regarding Buendia. He's only recently improved. First half of the season, he's been really slow to adapt. Let's not forget, new team, a new coach coming in, and Steven Gerrard. So it has taken him a bit of time to get going, but he has certainly gotten going the past month and a half for Aston Villa. He's been solid. He's been solid. Let's see. Musso's an excellent backup. He's my backup. Juan Musso of Atalanta. He's my number 2. I would go with Emiliano Martinez, and then I would have Juan Musso as my number 2. No, not even close. Not even close. And then anything but the keeping up with the Icardians. Yeah, I think that ship has sailed for Icardi. I think that ship has sailed. Let's see. There you go, Jack Otaku. We went from having mediocre goalkeepers to having a star-studded lineup of them. We got 3, 4, 5 of them that are pretty good to very good to world class. So it's been a while. Franco giving up on Foyth. I've made my feelings known regarding Juan Foyth the past. In previous videos, my situation with Foyth is he's a ticking time. I'm really trying to watch my words, but he does cost you in the time where you certainly don't need him to. You're leading by a goal. There's a minute left. And he just, he does something that maybe he shouldn't do, and he lets in a goal, or he'll give up a penalty, or it's a silly foul that leads to a free kick that leads to a goal. And I don't know if it's just bad luck, if he's unlucky or whatnot, because the talent's there and he's played well. He's played very, very well for Argentina even. But, when for Argentina, he plays well and then he gets that one silly mistake that leads to a goal, and it seems to hurt the team. I think we saw it right before the Copa America, and I think his mistake versus Colombia right before the Copa America, I think that's what kept him out of the Copa America team. If I'm being honest, I think that's what kept him out. Potentially, but you know what? We say inexperienced, and he's still very young. And as a defender, that's very young, right? And let's take a look. I want to take a look at something here. So let's go back, and I want to take a look at Juan Foyth. I just want to take a look at one thing here. So if we take a look at Foyth, he's 24. He's going to be 25, I believe, next month. Or this month, or just turned 24. Sorry. Okay. So he just turned 24. And, 5 Champions League matches, 15 in the league. He's played, let's see. So let's go to detailed performances. He's getting minutes. He's getting minutes, 80, 90 minutes, 90 on the bench. And then he gets dropped and not in the squad versus Majorca. So the experience is there. Or at least it's getting there. And here, this might be a better indicative of it all. Just like to get an idea. So he joined Tottenham in 2017. So that was about 5 years ago. I'm not saying he played a ton of matches. And these are just basing this quickly off of Wikipedia. If you're looking, it is an experience. He hasn't played too many matches. But the matches that he has been getting, he's done well. But that inexperience continues to show that inexperience for Foyth shows more often than not. That's my problem with Foyth, is one step forward, two steps back, one step forward, two steps back. And that's what I feel with him. I think there's definitely room for improvement. I think the talent is absolutely there. I think he's a very intelligent player, despite what I'm saying. I think he's a very intelligent player. I just think he gets those brain farts because he reads the game very well. His positioning is good. Um, maybe he could put on a bit of muscle. That's not, that's fine. But every now and then, it's just he does something. You're like, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And it tends to lead to a mistake. West Ham Clips writes, I can see Foyth being a late bloomer in his career. Under the right coach, he can develop into a really good defender. I'm not saying he's a bad one. I'm really not saying he's a bad one. I think he needs a bit more time, and it cannot all be blamed on inexperience. Is what I'm saying. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, Franco. I agree. Absolutely, definitely keep an eye on him. Maybe not for this World Cup. Probably not, because I think there's probably 5 center backs ahead of him for Argentina. But the next one in 4 years' time, why not? He'll be what, 28, prime age for a center back, right? You have that experience, and hopefully he'll have played a lot of matches and have done really, really well. So we'll see. But I'm certainly not giving up on him. Certainly not giving up on him. And thank you, Paro Miguel. Thank you, buddy. Thanks. Let's see. Yeah, he suits a team where they keep long possession, not us. His reactions sometimes are a bit slow, sometimes, but I think that's something that could be trained. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And Adrian writes, Foyth as a right back is not bad. Suketu, Facundo Medina needed. Hey, Facundo Medina is another one we haven't really spoken about too much. So let's see. Let's see what gives. Right, there's still 10 months until the World Cup. Still 10 months. B. Beck wants to see how Argentina perform when they can see the first goal. It's been a while. Hopefully it continues that way. Hopefully it continues that way throughout the entire World Cup and past that, because then that would mean one thing. And I'm not saying it. I am not saying it. Franco's a good question. How much do you value players that can play multiple positions for a World Cup? For example, Lisandro and Foyth. That could be priceless. That is essentially priceless. And if you look at, let's say, I was not his biggest fan, but Nicolas Berdisso for Argentina played as a center back at times, played as a right back at times. If I'm not mistaken, Fabricio Coloccini, same thing for Argentina, played center back and right back a couple of times. Gabriel played as center back, played as left back. Martin De Michelis, defensive midfielder, center back. So when it comes to especially defenders, but when it comes to a tournament, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. It would be it's a big advantage, suspension and injury or this or that. You throw a player in who's versatile. You look at Jose Maria Basanta, center back, played as left back when Marcos Rojo was suspended versus Belgium at the World Cup. He shut them down. So it is invaluable. Jaco Tago, I would love Licha. Lisandro Martinez at Barcelona, I'd love him. Absolutely love him. Him and Araujo, the Uruguayan, Araujo, him and Araujo together, now that's a center back partnership. And if you throw in Nicolas Tagliafico as left back, I'm sold. Let's see. All right. Hey, there was a comment here. Yes, absolutely. MN wants to take a look at the South American table, the standings. Let's do it. Let's take a look at that. Very, very good comment. Let's take a look at the South American table. Let's do it. So let's go back to, there you go, and then South American World Cup qualifiers. And let's take a look at the results today. So before we get into anything, the results. Ecuador versus Brazil drew 1-1. That was, for anyone that watched it, that was a joke of an officiating. Allison should have been red carded twice, and technically was red carded twice for Brazil, and both times went to VAR and it was overturned. It was a joke of a match in terms of the officiating. Uruguay with a big win away from home versus Paraguay. Argentina 2-1 win. Colombia play Peru tomorrow, and Venezuela versus Bolivia tomorrow. Some good ones, some good ones. So let's take a look at the table, the way things stand right now. Let's take a look at it. The standings. Here we go. Oof! Oh boy! Oh boy! 3 matches left, if I'm not mistaken, for Chile, for a couple of the teams. 3 matches left, and for others 4. So Brazil's qualified, Argentina's qualified. In all likelihood, Ecuador's qualified. That win tonight for Uruguay took them from 8th, or tied for 8th, all the way up to 4. Colombia still to play. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, Venezuela's eliminated. Paraguay all but eliminated. If Bolivia, because Bolivia play Chile next, if Bolivia wins, Bolivia gets the better of Chile and would be on 18 points and potentially in a playoff spot. So let's take a look at the next matches, because there are certainly some interesting ones. So next matches coming up. So we still have Colombia, Peru, Venezuela, Bolivia. In all likelihood, Colombia will get the win versus Peru, and then Venezuela, Bolivia. If Bolivia could get a point here, this could be big for them. If they could get a point, that would be big. And if they could get a win, if Bolivia could get a win away from home versus Venezuela, and they get a win versus Chile, that's 6 points. Bolivia could actually make the World Cup. That would be huge. That would be huge. Suketu writes that they want Colombia out. They want Colombia and Chile out. Ben Ruiz writes, "Hey Roy, I think Bolivia might squeak in. They might, the way things are going." And if we take a look at the next round of matches, Bolivia hosts Chile. You have to think Bolivia could at least get a draw here, if not a win. Uruguay at home to Venezuela. That win tonight for Uruguay versus Paraguay cannot be understated. That was a big, big win for them, because now they're playing at home versus Venezuela, and that's got to be 3 points right there. And suddenly Uruguay looked pretty good to make the World Cup. Argentina versus Colombia. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Brazil versus Paraguay. There's no way Brazil's losing at home. There's no way Brazil's losing at home, not to Paraguay. So there goes Paraguay's World Cup chances. And Peru versus Ecuador. Oof. Peru versus Ecuador. You know what? Let's take a look at the table. Oh, yeah. Peru in 6th. And they still got to play tomorrow as well. Peru's playing tomorrow as well. So Peru in 6th. Ecuador in 3rd. Ecuador is all but qualified. They're missing just a couple of points. I think, what is it? 20. They're missing about 2 points, if I'm not mistaken. 2 or 3 points for Ecuador is all that's missing for them. But yikes, those are some good matches right there, and very, very interesting table. So some good matches. Let's take a look at the chat, see what everybody else thinks. CB, are we actually realizing that Bolivia could still make the World Cup? They actually could. But you know what? Argentina got the 3 points against them in Bolivia, and Argentina got the 3 points against them in Argentina. So, and those are normally 3 points that they tend to bank against Argentina. So had they gotten that win instead of Argentina, they would be in a playoff spot right now. Clark writes, we got tough games, Colombia and Ecuador. Colombia is probably the most difficult one, just because they're still not qualified and they desperately need points to qualify. By the time we face Ecuador, I think both teams would have qualified in all likelihood. I think both teams would have already made it. So, I could still see us getting the win there, or at least a draw. Mixed memorabilia. No wonder they say it's the toughest qualification in world football. It absolutely is. Epic writes, we could top the group. We could, and it would be fun, but I don't think so. Brazil, if you watch Brazil today versus Ecuador, they're for whatever reason, it's still Varzil. For whatever reason. Clark Kent, there we go. We got Superman. I love Bolivia at the World Cup. Jaco Taco, Peru and Colombia will draw. All right, that's a prediction. That's a prediction. Okay, Cesar, I'm Venezuelan, so I want them to win their remaining games. All right, there you go. Fun fact: the only team who has never made the World Cup is Venezuela. So Cesar, that one's for you. That one's for you. Hopefully they make the World Cup, but although mathematically I think they're already eliminated. Sorry, there you go. Sorry about that. MN writes, I think Chile is out. A writes, CONMEBOL in all its glory today, shit refs, red cards, Chile's antics, and Uruguay on the World Cup. Europe doesn't come close. By far the most entertaining qualifiers. Fully agree. Fully agree. Altitude will be a big factor, says Clark, against Ecuador. It always is, and for whatever reason, it's like every time we play there, it's always raining. It's at altitude. It's very windy. It's always raining. There's always some problems. So yeah, who knows? Who knows what gives? Ooh, this is fun. Let's do it. Let's do it, and we'll end it on this one, I suppose. Top five. Top five. Vinit says Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, Uruguay, Colombia. I gotta go with that. I think that's my top five. I think those 5 teams, or those 4 teams plus the playoff, represent South America at the World Cup. Brazil's qualified, Argentina's qualified. Ecuador's missing, I think, 2 points or 3 points at most, so they're in. Uruguay got that win tonight, a big win away to Paraguay, and they're going to get the win at home. And that's it. They have too much experience to let this one go by. And Colombia is just overall in a very, very good position. If we go back and we kind of look at the table, I cannot see Peru taking this or qualifying. Chile, this has got to be over for them, especially if they lose to Bolivia. They're done for. But I got to go with these guys. Yeah, Colombia, Peru. I got to go with Colombia. So Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, Uruguay, Colombia for me are the 5 teams that qualify. Epic writes Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, Uruguay, Colombia. He agrees. Oh, Chauvin going slightly different. Let's bring this one up. They write Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, Uruguay, Bolivia. So Bolivia for Chauvin. And then, if I remember correctly, some unknown guy scored a hat trick. Yeah, he did. I want Bolivia in the World Cup, says Suketu. Clark, that's where we lose our streak. I think it's in Ecuador. It's better to arrive with the streak cut and them knowing what it feels like to lose for humility. Yeah, it's that's a topic of discussion as well. Do you want the team going into the World Cup being undefeated, knowing that their next loss, especially coming at the World Cup, would cost them the World Cup. So this could be this depends. This does certainly depend. It could be good to lose it beforehand, or it could be good going into the World Cup with it intact. Who knows? CB agrees. He says Uruguay makes the playoffs and eliminate Australia. So same teams. Jaco Taco. All right, Jaco Taco slightly different. Brazil, Argentina, Ecuador, Uruguay, Peru. So Jaco Taco thinks Peru gets it ahead of Colombia. It's a possibility. Right? It's very, very possible on that one. West Ham, I can see Colombia slipping up. They've not scored a goal in 5 matches. They haven't, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they're getting a lot of draws. I think they're getting a lot. Yeah, they are. 8 draws for Colombia. Sorry. Wow. 8 draws for Colombia. That's a lot. George, sorry, let's get to George for a second. What World Cup would you predict? Oh, we got time for that. We'll do a separate video for that before the draw. We'll do a mock-up. We'll do everything. We're certainly going to have a video for that. Anish, initially it was supposed to be in April. There were talks about it still being in April, but then there were rumors it could be in June. Because if I'm not mistaken, in June is when the European playoffs take place, if I'm not mistaken. So no one really knows, but I believe it's in April. So we still got about 2-3 months before then. Um, so, you know, this I spoke about this a little bit in the last video as well. I agree for sure. Yeah, Argentina hasn't played a European team in 2 or 3 years since Germany, if I'm not mistaken, the 2-2 draw versus Germany, where they were losing 2-0 and Argentina came back and drew 2 goals. Um, yes, but at the same time, European teams, if you really look at them, Italy not playing the best might not make the World Cup. Portugal might not make the World Cup. We spoke about England last time around in the video. Not trying to take anything away from them, but you know they played 6 of their 7 matches at the Euros at home. Uh, the first real team they faced, they lost versus Italy. Germany's building. Germany's building. I'll certainly give you that. Spain as well. Spain is proving to be a threat. Belgium's golden generation, in my opinion, is done for. So yeah, it's cool to test yourself against European nations, no doubt about it. But you know, European nations should test themselves out against Argentina. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Maybe it's arrogance. Maybe it's arrogance. I don't know. But you know, I'd love to face a European team, you know, before the World Cup for sure. And someone mentioned this in the chat last time around. I'd love to play the likes of maybe Japan or South Korea, or you know, maybe an African team, right? The game's a little bit different. The game's a little bit different because we're bound to get one of them at the World Cup, or maybe even more. France as well, the reigning. There you go, Ronnie. There you go. So France as well. They're still obviously very, very strong, very, very strong. But even they showed they're not invincible. Oh, you know, a dismantled or disorganized Argentina team pushed them to their limits 3 years ago or 4 years ago now, when they were France was France, right, and Argentina was struggling. So never count Argentina out. Never count Argentina out, especially not these guys, not this team right now. Yeah, man. I was gonna say worse. I was gonna say worse, but yes, yes, they do. They do. Suketu, play against Denmark and Switzerland. I feel like we've played Switzerland enough times. I know we had a friendly against them in 2012 and then 2014 World Cup, and I'd rather not play Switzerland. Probably someone else. Probably someone else. And thank you for that, MN. So it is in March for the European playoffs. My mistake. I thought it was in June for whatever reason. George, yes, it is. June 1st versus Italy in London at Wembley. There you go. There's a flip side. How will the European teams do against Argentina? That's exactly my point, Mixed Memorabilia. That's precisely my point. Everyone talks about how's Argentina going to fare against Europeans. Yeah, how are Europeans going to fare against Argentina? How's that going to work? Right? Are there teams I fear in Europe? I'm not going to say fear, but certainly Spain are very good. France is very good. And Germany is Germany. We saw the Netherlands. We saw Belgium. We saw Portugal. We saw Italy. We saw how they are. And we saw England. We saw how they are. So Europe, in my opinion, is not all it's cracked out to be. In my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. All right. Jaco Taco, have a good night, buddy. Have a very, very good night. It's 11:20 p.m. You know where I'm at. So good night and be safe. And thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Paro Miguel, that's the spirit. Argentina will smash everybody. That's it. That's it. I love it. I love it. West Ham USA is another one, right? Another good test. At one point, I know we faced the United States. I think it was 2008. The friendly match. Alfio Basile was the coach. I believe it ended in a 0-0 draw. I remember Messi was there and Julio Cruz was there. And then there was another friendly match, I believe 2010 or 2011. 2011, if I'm not mistaken, right before the Copa America. Another 0-0 draw. So it's been about 10 years, 10, 11 years, I think, since we played the United States. And then there was obviously the Copa America in 2016, the semifinals. So it has been a while. It has been a while since we played against them. Chauvin, have a good one, buddy. Have a good one. Be safe. Hey, there's a comment. Peru on their best day can beat 90% of the European teams, especially with Gareca in charge. Especially with Gareca in charge. All right, let's see. Oh, there you go. So Argentina can easily beat France or Italy. Switzerland were underdogs but beat France in the round of 16 at the Euros. It's a young Spain that beat Italy in the Nations League. Then why not Argentina? Why not? Absolutely. Absolutely. Daniel, I hope so. And hopefully it comes to Argentina. Hopefully, hopefully. Hey, that's also very true. Hopefully we can get a higher ranking, right? For the draw. Good morning. Good morning, Tawhid. Good morning, Tawhid. All right. Wow. Our first post match of 2022. And it's been great. It's been fun. A 2-1 win versus Chile. Chile's all but not qualified for the World Cup. Argentina qualified for the World Cup. Missing a lot of players due to COVID, due to injuries and now suspensions. But you know what? It means nothing. It means nothing. Scaloneta, 28 matches undefeated. Thank you everybody for joining me. Argentina versus Colombia, February 1st. We're gonna be here, live video post match. Once more, I really, really do appreciate it. Honestly, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for the support. I can't say it enough. I truly, truly cannot say it enough. Glad to see some familiar faces, some new faces, all around the world. North America, some even in South America, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, and everywhere, everywhere. So thank everybody for joining. Um, it's been great. It's been great. Take care. Yes, thank you everybody, and hopefully you join us for the next live stream. So once more, thank you very much. My name is Roy Nemer of MundoAlbiceleste.com. Thank you and be safe. Goodbye, everybody.